Welcome back to the All Ball Pod. Today we have a very special video. Not so special because we talk about footy every single week.
Every video is special on this channel.
Nonetheless, we're going to be talking about the North London derby.
Of course.
Heavy implications of this match. Going into the final stretch of the season, of course. Arsenal versus Tottenham at Tottenham Stadium as well.
Indeed.
Ends 3-2 to Arsenal.
Hit the like button
a lot of stuff
before we get into all of it. Hit the like button. Get in the comments. Let us know what you thought about the games and the things we talk about. Hit the sub button. Thanks for the support. We're past 750 subscribers.
Yes, sir.
We're going to 1,000 very soon. We're trying to hit that before the end of the season. Hit the sub button. Let's get into these big games.
I have to ask, straight off the rip, were Spurs unlucky? Listen, they had
100%.
VAR coming in. They had a potential penalty. Mm-hmm. Their finishing booths were just not there as well.
Ridiculous.
Were Spurs unlucky?
100% they were unlucky. That was not... First of all, look, the scoreline, yes, 3-2 close game. But that 3-0 halftime scoreline did not represent at all how the first half went. Pretty clear. I think we can all agree on that.
But did it represent Spurs' season as a whole? Because it kind of seems like
not really.
Spurs this season, it's like they're playing well, but then at the end of the day, halftime results, final results, they don't look like the full 3 points.
I mean, in certain games of the season, but at the end of the day, like Spurs have, for the most part, gotten good results this season. They're fighting for top 4. They haven't capitulated at all, despite, defensively they've not been good. Attacking wise, they've been very good though. They always score at home, and that first half, like, how they didn't leave that first half without at least one goal is beyond me.
Yeah.
But the fact that they did concede 3 is very Spursy. And kind of does sum up Ange's season because, like, just so easy for Arsenal. Like, 2 set-piece goals off corners. We all know, yes, Arsenal have been very good on corners this season. I think they've scored, 15.
Yeah, I mean,
around 15 goals.
They keep on bringing up the set piece coach having an absolute season.
Yeah. So they've been really good on corners. We all know this, but Vicario, man, the guy needs to hit the gym. And I've said this multiple times this season about Vicario. I remember when we played City Spurs, there was that controversial goal that we scored off the corner where Diaz bumped into Vicario, and I was telling him to hit the gym. Again, he needs to hit the gym. There's Ben White. Who's a femboy,
Penny Blanca,
is bodying Vicario on 2 of the corners, and both resulting into goals. One own goal, and one what was the other one? Kai Havertz, right? Kai Havertz goal. And look, that's too easy. You can't concede two corners like that in the first half, especially at home in a derby. That's ridiculous. Vicario needs to. That's one. Look, he's been great first season at Spurs. Unbelievable shot stopper, decent with his feet. But in terms of commanding his box, it's a clear flaw.
Yeah, I mean, there's always room for improvement in terms of goalkeeping. But I don't know. The way that Spurs responded, I mean, getting skunked first half is like you could just call it a day. But, they came out second half, looked pretty decent.
Yeah.
They got the 2 goals. But I did want to mention, though, before we talk about the second half, actually, first half, obviously, they didn't have Udogie. They had Ben Davis.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, Ange decided to go with Højbjerg in the midfield, who played it and started only 6 games this season.
I didn't mind that.
He had Basuma and Papisar.
Yeah. I didn't mind that, to be honest.
He was kind of shaky in the beginning.
I don't really think so. I think Højbjerg was fine, to be honest.
He grew into the match for sure, but I think the first couple of minutes, he even caused the own goal as well.
Yeah, so I can't really put full blame on him.
He was a bit shaky for me. I think Basuma, Papisar.
Neither of them are really 6s though.
A bit better than Højbjerg though.
No, but I think the idea for Ange was that he put Bentancur and Maddison in that midfield, and they're neither of them obviously are super defensive. Bentancur does have that defensive capability. He's a pure box to box, but I think he just wanted to have that solid 6 sitting there, and neither Basuma or Sarr are really true solid lone 6s.
Yeah, I get
so
that.
So Højbjerg is like his only option.
No, but I get that. But why switch it up in probably the most important derby of the season for Spurs? Like, why switch up what was working in the past?
But
Especially with
It was
Højbjerg,
working,
bro.
though. It was working,
It's not
though.
like Højbjerg is a true 6 either.
He is.
I don't
That's
think
his
he is.
position.
I don't think he's
But
a
it was
true
working,
6.
though. Like, let's not let the scoreline blind us from how that first half went. Spurs were the better team. Spurs were better. Besides 2 corner goals where Vicario needs to hit the gym, and then 1 controversial break that we should talk about. Spurs were good in that first half.
Controversial break, yes.
Yeah, we should talk about that.
Okay.
And Saka, of course, gets that goal. And is that a penalty for you?
You see, I don't know, man. It's difficult. I don't mind it not being a penalty.
Okay.
To be fair, the break was good. Credit where credit's due.
It was poor from Spurs, to be fair, to defending that break because it was just Saka alone. Saka on his own. So
against
much
Ben
space.
Davies, not Udoji. No, it's Ben Davies.
And
bro.
but in terms of the penalty, bro, like penalty shout. Yeah, I can agree with you that I don't mind it not being given, because but the thing is, this is why I hate VAR, because it's just so inconsistent. Because we've seen so many things like that given. We've seen so many things that are less so penalties than that given. And so, like, where is the consistency? It's because Kulusevski obviously tries to stay on his feet. He stumbles for a few strides, then plays the ball to Maddison. And that, because he stays on his feet and doesn't fall to the ground right away and throw his hands in the air, it's not given as a penalty. Like, these are the type of things why I hate VAR, why I think it's killed the game. And, like, because there's just so many inconsistencies. And, like, some things that get checked in other games and get given are just, if those get checked, why isn't this getting checked? I mean, I know it's getting checked by the people in the VAR room, but then why is it not enough to go tell the ref to go look at it at the screen? It's a touch. Trossard clearly clips him.
No, yeah, I think we always talk about why don't we just allow the middle ref, just go to the screen a lot more often? Because he is, at the end of the day, the main ref. It's not VAR who's the main ref, but again, you're talking about the inconsistencies. That's probably one of the reasons why we're having semi-automatic offsides coming into next year. So it's going to just get even more AI, the game we love,
Yeah, I mean, but I don't mind that, because I mean, you see the Van de Ven goal getting disallowed from hairs. Like, we can't even really see if that's offsides with the technology that they're using now. There's been so many cases like that, like the Coventry goal against Manchester United in the FA Cup semi-final. Like, you cannot tell if that's actually offsides with the technology that they're using. It's ridiculous, bro. VAR has killed the game over the last 5 years, but we can talk about that more in a bit. Like, yeah, second half, Spurs do fight, at least give a fight.
Yeah, 100%. Especially at home. They had to. We always, going into the North London derby, it's definitely a lopsided affair. Arsenal always kind of seems to be the team that smacks Spurs, and it was a bit different this time, I think Spurs definitely gave it a lot more of a go. They tried to play their game. Obviously, Son got his PK, scored off of that.
Dude, he was dead. He was dead in the game. He was so dead in the game.
I was thinking...
And this is why I will never consider Son as a world-class player. I'm sorry. This is why, because he was so good. He was so good in the first half of the season. But this is always how he is. He's just a purple patch player. In his purple patch, yes, he pulls out world-class performances, but very rarely will you get a full world-class season from Son, because since the turn of the new year, like, where has he been? He's not been good. He's not been good. Performances have been off. Today, he wasn't good either in these big games. This is where you want to see Son stepping up.
Yeah. I was wondering, as I was watching the game, as they were, I think it was maybe 3-1 down, maybe, I was thinking about next year, if they don't get Champions League, like, as if I'm Son, who's been at Spurs all his life, kind of like similarly how Kane left, right? Is Son thinking in the back of his mind, like, if we don't get Champions League, like, am I out? Should I be going?
Why would he care about that, though? Why would he care about Champions League football? Are Spurs going to win the Champions League next year? No, they are not. They're not even going to get close. So why does he, as a player, care? Oh, like, if we get Champions League, I'll stay. Why? You're not going to win the Champions League regardless. So why does that, why would that alter your decision on whether you stay or leave? That doesn't make sense to me.
But you can't say that, because you've got the likes of Borussia Dortmund making it into the semifinals.
Bro, they have Champions League heritage. Dortmund are always fighting in the
Tottenham
Champions
Hotspur
League.
team that was worse than they are now made it to the finals and gave Liverpool an easy dub. So you can't be saying all this stuff. Like Champions League is tournament, bro. It realistically is anyone's game. The favorites don't always win. We know this.
It's gonna be Andrew's first.
You know this.
What?
Favorites do not win.
Yeah.
Manchester City, where are they, bro? They're not in the finals. They're not in the semifinals. Where are they?
Yeah.
So Spurs obviously have a foot in. You know, they've got a chance. They got a small chance, but
he has a bigger chance of winning the Europa League. So if I'm Son, I would want to just win a damn trophy at Spurs. That's my objective. If I'm Son, I'm a Spurs legend. I want to bring silverware to this club. And you're going to have a bigger chance of doing that in the Europa League than the Champions League. So I personally, if I was Son, I would be completely fine with Europa League football next year. In fact, I would probably prefer that.
Logistically, yes. I think if you're thinking about a rational take of it,
all right,
but you got to have ambition.
He's got to have a rationale. He's going into his later years of his career. He's, probably past his prime now.
Are you mad?
What?
How old do you think Son is,
He's
bro?
like 30 now, isn't he?
I swear he's not.
He's got to be 30.
First of all,
man's defo
physical
pushing
prime.
30.
First of all, physical prime is not in their 20s. It's like in their 31s, 32s,
No.
bro.
It depends. It's player by player.
He's 31.
He's 31. There you go. 31, and he's been at the top level since
Kane is 30, bro.
It's different, bro. It's different. Kane's son and their play styles are completely different. Kane has never relied on pace.
You think Son is relying on pace now?
This is why he's putting out stinkers, because because a big part of his game is his pace and his finishing. That's
every single goal he scored.
That is human Son. Pace finishing. That's human Son.
I think that's not true at all, actually.
Come on, man.
You're going to sit here and tell me that he plays similarly to Timo Werner and Brennan Johnson?
Broski, those guys reek. Obviously, Son doesn't
rely
reach
on
that bad.
pace. They rely on pace.
Those guys aren't near as good finishers as Son is, clearly.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think he relies on his finishing. I think he relies on his
his pace as well, though. And
it's not about his pace, I don't think.
But we've seen Son at the top level for many years now. It's fair to say that he won't be playing at a world class level.
Just criminal
for more than maybe a year or two.
That is a crazy take.
It's not a crazy take. He's 31. That's not a crazy take. You think Son is going to be bagging 20 Premier League goals at 35 years old? No, he's not. I can say that I can put my life savings on that. So
that's crazy hating. That's
crazy hating. It's being truthful.
We have to talk about moving on, because this is getting nowhere. Moving on to another player, though. We have to talk about man like Kai Havertz.
Let's talk about him.
Obviously scored. Shut up. Don't say nothing. He scored a goal, obviously, but he's still. It's like a Benjamin Button type of situation. Do you know who Benjamin Button is?
I don't. Explain.
He's the person who he's like. It's not even a true story, but it's a story where like the baby was born hella old, and then as he grows, he gets younger and younger. Okay. So it's like the curious case of Benjamin Button.
Okay.
But it's like the curious case of Kai Havertz, because positionally, he's not an 8. He's not a 10. He's not a striker.
He's a shadow striker, bro.
He's a second striker. Like a hybrid false 9, 8 that we kind of never really seen before, I think. He's almost like a number 10 with Odegaard, but not really.
We've seen it.
Because if he's like sitting in a pure midfield position, he reeks.
Yeah, he reeks. He's not
pure
a 10.
Striker, he reeks. So it's like a weird transition.
He's a Bergkamp, bro. He's a Bergkamp profile.
But not even. I don't think he is.
He's a more physical Bergkamp profile, because Bergkamp obviously wasn't as physical. He was, probably one of the best technicians of his time. Kai Havertz isn't that technician, but he is technical, and he's just a more physical presence. So he's like a Bergkamp profile, but just more physical.
He's like positionless, positionless. Like he's just a body up top. He just floats like a ghost.
It's true.
Almost.
It's true.
Strange.
And it's unique.
And it's working too.
It is working. And I said this, when
this... You can't claim this, bro.
Come on. No.
You can't claim this.
Why can't I claim it? It's on camera. It's you guys can go to our old videos in the beginning of the season. They're transfer videos when the transfer happened to Arsenal. I said, look, I hear it. I hear why Arteta wants him. I think that it will work. And it's kind of coming to fruition. I see it now. Like I've been seeing it. Kai Havertz has been actually a big part of Arsenal's title race, especially in the second half of the season.
He has.
And it's no denying that. And there's no denying that.
I'm not allowing that.
Why is that? Why is that? Why is it? Why can't I claim
that?
Because
that's like acting as if like, when West Ham signed Mikel Antonio, you're like, I can back it. And then he goes and plays right back. He's like, see, I knew that was going to work out.
What are you talking about? You're acting like Kai Havertz is playing a position he's never played before. I said I expected when Arteta
Mate.
made the signing, I expected him to play behind the striker. Is he doing that? No, not necessarily. He's kind of the main striker, but still, like that's not groundbreaking. We've seen Kai Havertz play as the 9 at Chelsea, and
Mate, I'm not bad. You're not.
Come
I'm
on,
not
bro.
allowing you
Come
to
on.
have that.
It would be different if Arteta was using Kai Havertz as like a right back and he was playing well. And like, yeah,
Damn
I
near
told you.
was
'Cause No,
almost.
I didn't predict. I wouldn't have
He was
predicted
almost
that.
gonna play inverted fullback. I guarantee you, bro.
Stop. So look, I kind of knew. I always knew that Arteta. This Havertz signing made sense, bro, and it's on camera. You guys can go watch the old clips. And fair play to him. I mean, he's come out with big goals, big winners.
Getting a little cocky on Twitter now, though. I will say that.
I mean, he's
Might bite him in
that
the
type
back.
of personality.
They do have Bournemouth, which is interesting. Next up, they've never lost to Bournemouth at home, which might be foreshadowing because that type of record where you've never lost to a team that's way less in strength. It's a tricky one because that's
I mean, I expect Arsenal to get 3 points. It's that simple. But
City Donny. Yeah.
other performances, Raya, big mistake for the goal, kind of caused Spurs to have that resurgence in the second half. We know Raya has that mistake in him.
Did you know he had a face reconstruction?
I saw that. I don't know if I believe it.
I believe it. Did you see the before and afters?
I didn't see a big difference.
Mate, his nose is pig nose now.
No, it was always like that. He always had big nostrils. Like,
no, you can tell. You can tell.
No, I don't think he did.
I can
think
see
that's
it.
fake.
I was like, whoa, that makes sense because that Donny's nose is
I think it's fake.
It's corrupt.
I think
bro.
it's fake. I think it's fake.
I think it's real.
I don't think so. But I mean, like Raya had that mistake. We know he has a mistake in him, but he did, pull out big, kind of a pretty good performance despite that because he was claiming multiple crosses.
Arsenal fans kind of crying about that. Like, behave. Obviously, a keeper can make mistakes, bro. Like, it's not Aaron Ramsdale at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, Ramsdale kind of killed his career at Arsenal. But yeah, Van de Ven, another solid performance. That brother is so rapid. It's crazy.
And he's not even short,
And
too. He's like 6'4".
6'4", bro. You can see exactly why Ange bought him for his style because obviously the high line, you need rapid center backs, and that guy is one of the fastest players I've ever seen.
Chris, I heard Ange talk about Romero, big praises on Romero.
He was pretty good as well.
He's a leader, bro. At the end of the day, he's got that Ramos type of like flair where he'll get you a red card, but that's the player that you kind of need. Especially he complements Van de Ven so well too.
Yeah, I mean, players like that, they have negatives to them, but you have to kind of take them on the chin because they have lots of positives as well. Mm-hmm. And then last performance I want to talk about is this guy, Brennan Johnson. Wow. Nottingham Forest, that is a GTA 5 heist. Crazy.
Don't do that,
50
bro.
million for that guy. That is the definition. He is the definition of a mid-table player, bro. It's actually a robbery. That transfer.
I see a lot of potential in him.
There's no potential there.
He
is a straight runner. He's
nothing. What Sterling was at Liverpool.
Oh yeah, and Sterling was 19 years old, raw.
And what's Brennan Johnson?
Like
what do you think?
I'm gonna guess 25.
25.
I'm gonna guess 25. I think Brennan
crazy.
Johnson's 25, bro. And watch me be spot on as well, because I'm good with ages.
He's 22, mate.
Stop.
22. He's 01, you know.
All right.
You're hating. Bro.
All right, I'm hating maybe, but that guy reeks. Maybe he's raw. And fine, fair play. I didn't know he was 22. I thought he was like 25. I'll give him time. But right now, as it stands, the brother reeks, and I want him to prove me wrong. BJ, prove me wrong. But yeah, other than that, not much else to talk about.
Yeah,
Big
nothing.
three.
I was just gonna say, it's looking like Arsenal is got two hands on the steering wheel when it comes to the Premier League title. I will say
you can't say two hands on the steering wheel because points wise, it's in City's hands at the end of the day. If City win all their games, they win the league. So it's not two hands on the steering wheel. I would say
still got Spurs.
I would say it's one hand on the steering wheel because in my opinion, I think this was just such a huge win. Like I was kind of thinking before the game, wow, if Arsenal win this game, I'm starting to think it's like more of like a 50-50 for the title. So fair play to them. Big 3 points. We'll see what happens. It is now a 2-horse race. We haven't recorded in a little while. Lots has taken place.
Yeah, of course.
We've seen a capitulation in Merseyside. Absolute capitulation.
I think, what I think it is? I think there's something going on internally that hasn't been leaked that is doing something to the team.
It's the
I don't know
Klopp
what
farewell
it is.
tour. It's the Klopp farewell tour.
Shut
I don't
up.
know. I think there's questions to be asked about his timing on the announcement that he's leaving. Did it really help the team? Did it hinder the team? What did it actually do for the dressing room? We'll never know. But yeah, I mean, absolute capitulation. Obviously, though, the loss to Palace that we talked about before, that was the start of it. Losing 3-0 to Atalanta, going out, crashing out the Europa League. He sacrificed the Europa League for the title race. And then going to Goodison Park, Merseyside derby, your last Merseyside derby. You've never lost at Goodison. And you go out like that.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Fair.
It's sad.
Like I said, there's got to be something internally going on, bro, because they just don't look like they were. It's a strange phenomena. They just don't look like they're up for it. It is what it is, but I don't think even you talked about how was this the correct timing with Klopp announcing or anything like that. You saw what it did to the players though once he announced it. Like they were cruising. They went up to first in the title race. Something happened, bro.
They burned out.
Something happened. And I think I was listening to Jamie Carragher talk about how Salah's goals were kind of the Band-Aid of what this attack really was. And once those Salah goals stopped, you kind of really saw what was going on, that they couldn't provide. It's similar to how Virgil van Dijk, if he's not having a great game, the defensive line is not having a great game. So it's those two key players, Salah and Van Dijk, when they're not playing well, which obviously in those courses of the last 3 or 4 games, they were kind of non-existent, not even on the pitch. Salah was not even on the pitch. You saw what happened, and Liverpool wasn't able to sustain it. And, of course, they kind of dropped out of the race, bro.
Dropped out of the race. You know what I'm saying? Salah, 007, James Bond in the title race. 0 assists.
Not his fault, though. He's getting benched.
0 assists.
Getting benched. Hate.
0 non-penalty goals in the last 7 games in the title race. Madness.
You're a hater.
Madness. But, yeah, I mean, look. You talked about, obviously, he wasn't starting these games. He was benched in the last 2 of the last 3. And I think that it's a big reason why this Klopp team is now unrecognizable in the last few months of the season, because we know Klopp for his consistency with the players that he puts out. Over the years during the Klopp dynasty, it's always been, what 11 he's going to put out.
Yeah.
It was always Mane, Firmino, Salah, Wijnaldum, Henderson, Fabinho, Robertson, Van Dijk, Matip, Trent, Alisson. You knew the 11 every single week unless there was an injury. Whereas now it's like it's a lottery. You don't know what 11 he's gonna put out, and that's not very Klopp-like, because we know he's always been consistent. He's never really been a big rotation manager.
You think the news got into his head about how successful the rotation was, how successful when everyone was injured, that the kids stepped up and everything, and he was like, "Oh, I can actually use these guys."
Possibly, yeah. It could have got to his head, like what's his name? What was it, right? Like Connor Bradley, like him coming in, Kwanzaa coming in, them doing decently well.
Elliot Jones being a lot of
exactly. So there's been lots of rotating pieces, and that's just not what Klopp has built his success at Liverpool with over the last 8 years. So big capitulation there. Your prediction is out the window.
Not
officially
mathematically.
Wrong. Officially wrong.
Not mathematically.
It's over.
Blood.
It's over.
Not mathematically.
It's over. But yeah, but on the other side of the title race, City big win. You didn't watch the game.
Did not watch the game.
But all I have to say about it is that it was one of the worst performances of the season, and we come out with 3 points. And that is all that matters, especially with Arsenal's big result today. It was not convincing. Foden, illness, so he wasn't there, and the team is just so different without him. It's unreal. But look, Haaland, top goal scorer, still missing
one goal.
Huge parts of the season. Top goal scorer still. You know what I'm saying? Gavardio, massive. What a player. The words, I can't even describe the second half of this season. Goals have been coming from him as well since his first goal against Madrid. Scored another screamer, I think, against Luton right after, and then a big goal today. So Gavardio, massive. And then KDB has the most assists for a Premier League player in all competitions this season with 15 assists. And he missed 6 months. Broski, this guy is different. Can you just Start appreciating greatness while it's there in front of your eyes. Because I promise you, in 10 years, you're gonna be like you're gonna be watching football and you're gonna be like, man, I should have appreciated KDB while I was watching him. Because what are these ballers, bro?
I won't, because he can't do it week in and week out. He'll have spurts in the moments. Once every 3 games, he'll have a good game. I can't accept.
Then how is he the top assister in all competitions?
Everton man,
right, a goal against Real Madrid.
Leipzig man,
goal against Real Madrid.
My gosh,
title race assist.
I'm not accepting this.
2 assists in a title race.
I simply am not accepting
while Salah is going 007. You got KDB 2 assists against Nottingham Forest away. I mean, this guy steps up. Well, why can't you just accept it?
Okay, so why do you hate on Cole Palmer? 20 goals.
I'm not hating on Cole Palmer.
You don't?
No. He's been unreal.
Yeah,
he's been unreal.
Okay,
like, what are we doing here?
All right,
don't make up.
Okay,
stuff. Don't make.
I'll remember that.
Come on now.
I'll remember that.
Rodri, 70 games.
Don't do that.
70
We're not
games
doing that.
unbeaten.
That's a fugazi stat.
Rodri is 70 games unbeaten.
The state of Man City fans.
Do you know
talking reckless like that?
Broski, Bayer Leverkusen son or Rodri daughter?
Yeah, I forgot Manchester City are going to the semifinals, right?
Nah,
they're
bro.
going to the semifinals.
Rodri
in the Champions
is
League
70
because
games.
they're unbeaten. They're unbeaten though.
Everyone knows that penalty losses don't count as losses. It's a draw. It's a draw. The match was a draw, and then it got decided. on penalties.
So if I pull up stats score right now, it'll say a draw. Man City versus Real Madrid. It says a draw.
I mean, yeah, probably, yeah.
Are you sure?
Probably, yeah. The match. Everyone knows that. That's how it works. The match is a draw. The game was then decided on penalties. That's how it works.
Mate, you guys lost the game.
Nah, it's a draw. Rodri
game.
is 70 games unbeaten. That is inhumane. Inhumane blood. But yeah, crazy stuff. You know, big 3 points. Title race still going. What else is there to talk about?
We have to talk about Bayer Leverkusen.
Of course.
I think that's the 10th, maybe almost 10th.
It has to be more than 10.
That they've either won or tied in the 90+ minutes.
It's insane. This is black magic.
It is black magic.
No, Xabi Alonso, you need to be investigated. I don't believe this. This is ridiculous, bro. I was watching that game. They never looked like they were really gonna score.
That's not true. That's not true.
Okay, the Bundesliga is just very slow paced in my opinion. Overall, that game was very slow paced, so it didn't really ever look like they were gonna get 2 goals, despite them being a better team. But regardless, bro, like that, I mean, Adley goal came out of nowhere, and then it was a good goal, and then it looked like it was over, bro.
Stuttgart, though, they had so many chances.
They did. They had many chances to put it away.
Garassi had multiple chances.
Two clear-cut chances.
Herdecki absolutely saved them. As soon as Herdecki made that save in the 80-something minute, point blank, I was like, yeah, this is going to tie.
Madness.
Like, it's going to tie. Because I've seen Bayer Leverkusen do this time and time again. Like, there's something about German teams when they're up, they just do not park the bus.
Bro,
Stuttgart was going for another goal to seal it every single time. And they had Jeremy Frimpong. They had Wirtz and Boniface coming in as substitutes. And they had so much space to operate.
It was just so much space. It was slow paced, so much space. They never really tried to win the game, bro. They were never like, you know what, let's make sure we win this game and sit back. It was never, not a single second in that game where Stuttgart playing a low block. Maybe in the last, couple balls in, and then that set piece, Adley wins a free kick.
Great set piece, to be fair.
Wirtz put a crazy good ball in.
Because he knows that's the last chance, right? Like,
and then Andrik scores the rebound. Wow, like, you can't stop them, bro. You can't stop them. I really thought I want them to go unbeaten because it would just be a crazy story. But I'm not sure they will, bro, because that's I'm not sure they will.
They were resting players for Tuesday.
Yeah,
they have a Tuesday game against Roma.
True. That's a big game, but I mean, look,
Stuttgart is no.
They cut it close. They cut it close against West Ham. They cut it close against Dortmund. They cut it close against Stuttgart. Eventually,
yeah, but look at the names you listed, bro. They're all great. Pretty good teams.
Yeah,
like Stuttgart is no like lousy.
I think Stuttgart's like top 6.
Third.
Oh, third.
They're
right?
third.
So yeah, they're a good team, obviously in the Bundesliga, but bro, they can't keep cutting close. Eventually, they've got to get some convincing performances.
Bro, honestly, I don't care if they even lose to Roma next, like on or whatever Thursday or whatever.
Obviously,
they're playing because. That kind of doesn't matter. I just want them to go undefeated in Bundesliga.
Yeah, Bundesliga is the one that matters. Obviously, them going unbeaten in all competitions would be just like that. You can't even imagine.
But
that.
even I guess I can't really imagine it because like I don't really care about that.
Why did you not care about that? That's a bigger
Because
achievement.
as long as they win the Europa League, like that's fine for me. I don't know. Like as long as they go unbeaten in the league itself, because I think that's harder to do than for some reason than like Europa League.
But they've got to do it all competitions type.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I don't think it would stain the treble drastically if they lose one game against Roma and end up winning the Europa League.
Yeah, true. It wouldn't stay in the treble. Obviously, it would be a crazy achievement. They would like to go unbeaten in all competitions, but I think that, going unbeaten in the league alone is already an insane feat. So, we want to see that happen, especially because they've already won the title. So them losing a game when nothing's on the line, it doesn't sit right. Yeah. It doesn't sit right. So hopefully they do it. Still a couple games to go for them.
They won, bro. Before the game, they had Dortmund. They had Stuttgart. They had Dortmund and Stuttgart.
Yeah.
98th minute, they tied.
That's what I'm saying.
Bro, it's just nuts.
There's something really going on, bro. Honestly.
They have Frankfurt next in the league,
That's
followed by Bochum and Augsburg.
So the last two would be easy.
Last two, Augsburg is 8th place. Okay. Frankfurt is 6th.
Bochum is like a relegation fodder.
Yeah, exactly. So they're definitely winnable, 1,000%.
100%.
And the Pokal, of course, is some like feeder team, second division.
Yeah.
So.
Imagine like they lose that. Imagine
they could
if they get complacent.
Yeah.
But yeah, some black magic going on in Leverkusen. Other talking points. We missed this. Inter Milan winning the league. Serie A is decided. Inter Milan win the league at San Siro. What a story. What a season for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, what a game. Thuram, Lautaro, Barella, all insane seasons.
All I'm saying is there's a reason why a lot of Inter Milan players are losing their hair. And that's because of steroid use, bro. Like, at the end of the day, that is
I don't
call a cat, bro.
Atletico dealt with them. If they were on steroids, I don't think that would have happened.
That's not true. It's a one-off game.
Convincing Serie A win ends on a storyline like that. Winning San Siro in front of the Milan fans. Crazy. I wish I was there. I wish I was there.
You're so weird, bro.
But also, Pioli looks like he's out the door.
No, he's been out.
Yeah, he's going to be out the door. And then it's looking like Lopetegui's going to take over.
It's not looking like,
It's looking like Lopetegui's going
to... Bravo to the fans, because the fans are doing petitions. They're doing all this and all that. The board is starting to recognize this fraud guy is not going to be him.
That just shows you the state of Milan's board right now. You're listening to the fans on recruiting your next manager.
Spurs did that as well.
Nah, Spurs did not recruit Ange.
No, I'm not saying Ange, brud. I'm saying Gattuso was lined up to be the Spurs coach.
Fuck.
And then the fans were like, no, we can't have Buddy because of certain way he reacts and stuff. And the board was like, all right. And then they
Gattuso,
got Ange. Yes.
God, Levy needs to be lynched, bro.
He eventually got Ange, bro.
Yeah, fair.
I say we go all out for Thiago Motta, but it looks like he's going to Juve.
He will be going to Juve. It looks like,
which is so
Juve has that pull. Juve has the pull that Milan
I don't know how.
Have.
I really don't know how, because the team sucks.
Nah,
Juve sucks.
Juve's personnel is very good, bro.
Better than Milan's. No.
It's quite even.
Not a chance in hell.
Quite even, bro.
Who in the world at Juventus is on par with Rafael Leao, Theo Hernandez? Chiesa
is him. Chiesa is him. Chiesa's class.
He's class, but he's on par with Rafael Leao? Not a chance.
They've done the same in their careers.
And he's an injury liability.
Chiesa has a Euro under his belt.
And he's an injury liability, bro.
No, he's still coming. He's still getting to the groove from an ACL injury.
Theo Hernandez. No one comes close to Theo. He's the best left back in the world. Mike Maignan. No. Chris Pulisic,
He's
good, bro.
Nah. I mean, Juve got Vlahovic.
Vlahovic, sure.
Yildiz, he's class.
Don't even.
Nah, he's class young talent. Juve have a good squad, bro. Juve have a good squad.
Thiago Motta is an Inter Milan fan at heart. That's why he's not coming.
Oh, yes. I didn't even know that. So, of course, why would he go to Milan?
Why would he
go to Milan?
The project's exciting.
Nah, it's not. It's looking dull for Milan. They just lost the title at the San Siro in front of their home fans to their title rivals. Yeah, Dumfries holding up sign of him walking Theo.
He's actually obsessed.
Crazy, bro.
He's genuinely obsessed with
Crazy,
Theo, bro.
but
he is obsessed.
But yeah, big scenes there. And then looks like Madrid basically have wrapped up the La Liga title as well.
Yeah.
That happened over the last week or so. Big win in the El Clasico. Big win against Sociedad midweek. Looks like that title is wrapped up as well. But yeah, I mean, we got big Europe games this week. Anything else you want to talk about?
Not really. I think
Yeah, we covered everything.
I think so.
Solid. We're back. You know what I'm saying? Get in the comments. Talk about anything that we talked about in this video. Hit the like button. Make sure you don't forget to sub up. Catch y'all next time. Peace.